sports background. So I liked what Nixon had done, and I became kind of a fanatic around Nixon. Ended up having a watch case at my house and pick up the new drops, etc. And it started to plant a seed in me to say, that same skate kid that grew up loving the brands and the uniform that it felt like to step out with those brands on is growing up now and wants to kind of exude success. Success can only come from starting something, working hard at it, and thus making it successful, ultimately being an entrepreneur. So after FITM, started working for a brand called Split, and was pushing paper, basically a customer service order processor, and started to learn how the back end operated at an apparel company. Had just come off of a degree at FITM, teaching me how kind of the process looked at a high level from a school's education, and then started getting behind the scenes looks from my job at Split. Was mentored there by a guy named Jim Watson, who now runs all of sales for Vans. And Jim's a badass, hard-ass boss to work for, but he taught me a ton. And so I shared, oops. Oh, there we go, just kind of So Jim agreed that he would show up an hour early and stay an hour late and teach me as much as he could, because I kept telling him I wanted to start a premium hat company. I thought there was a hole in the market for it. And he goes, you don't want to own a brand, dude. You don't want to own a brand, dude. He kept saying it, I kept showing up, kept getting lessons. So finally, was training a little bit of MMA, Jiu-Jitsu at the time. I met the founders of a brand called Tap Out, if you guys remember Tap Out, with the chest flash. And they were selling these shirts out of the trunk of their car, and I was a guy that aspired to become a good fighter and kind of wanted to embody that uniform at this stage of my life. A little bit action sports in me, a little bit kind of this MMA thing. And they invited me to come help them, since nobody at Top Out knew how to run a clothing company, and I had a degree in it, and I at least worked a little bit for a surf brand. And I ended up, very fortunately, going on a wildly successful ride with Tap Out for the next 6-7 years, while the UFC exploded. Chuck Liddell, which let's not even talk about, what just happened the other night. But learned a ton through my journey at Tap Out. Was able to be in proximity to a ton of what you now call influencers, a lot of kind of like glitz and glam and like fast money, and watched a ton of mistakes being made because of how fast we grew, and was kind of noting all of these kind of steps to 5 million, steps to 10 million. Ooh, that one took us back a notch. And I started kind of making this list of screw-ups to avoid when I started my brand, which is what I'm hoping to share with you guys tonight. So I believe that is the best way to be a successful entrepreneur, is to not have to incur the expense of making mistakes yourself. If you can learn by listening to guys like Gary Vee, people like Dinah, or hopefully I'll be able to shed some light on some things with you guys tonight. But so my first piece of advice would be, if you do not have mentors in the field that you guys are looking to kind of tap into, or you're not learning daily about how to better run a business, or working for somebody that already runs a business in the field that you're thinking of attacking, get after it right away and start to learn as much as you can off someone else's dime.